Hi, I'm Matt Finney.
And I'm Thomas Hunt.
And this is the Bad News Network.
A viral video from shoppers at Walgreens in San Francisco showed a man on a bicycle loading up trash bags full of random stuff and rolled right on out the front door with no one trying to stop him. In the video, you can see the store security guard filming the guy stealing stuff, instead of, doing his job and stopping the theft. According to local law enforcement, this is a normal occurrence for drugstores in San Francisco for a while now. Thefts at Walgreens stores in San Francisco are 4 times higher than the nationwide average for Walgreens. What's going on in San Fran? Is everyone addicted to supermarket sweeps? Is there an apocalypse going on that no one knows about? Nope, just California playing itself for the past 7 years. In 2014, California mandated Proposition 47, called the Safe Neighborhoods and Schools Act. Ironically enough, this bill has almost nothing to do with making neighborhoods and schools safer, but man, does it sound like it does. Prop 47 does 3 main things. First, it classifies certain drug and theft offenses from felonies to misdemeanors. Second, it allows defendants who were charged with a felony for these crimes, they could now ask for a petition to get their charges reduced to a misdemeanor. And third, it allows anyone who finished a sentence for these crimes and who are charged with a felony to apply for a reclassification of the charges to misdemeanors. How would they do this? By allowing people to steal anything under the $950 limit to walk away with a citation instead of carting them to jail. This doesn't include just the actual theft of goods, but you can even get away with writing a bad check for under $950. Someone please help me understand how this is good in any way for neighborhoods and schools. This issue has been most significant with the drugstore chains. CVS and Walgreens in the Bay Area have the highest theft rates of any drugstores in the country. But people try and find the silver lining in any situation, with supporters of the bill saying that the crime has dropped significantly this year. Wait a second. So you're telling me all you have to do to drop the crime rate is to label things not as a crime? What a crazy thought. It's like if you stopped testing for COVID and then cheered that the number of positive cases went down. In only 4 short years, however, the states have shown that theft rates have risen over 9% since 2014. The president of the California's Retailers Association said that thieves will bring calculators into stores to make sure they are stealing less than $950 worth of stuff, and that thieves will also pack up their backpack full of the goods, quickly drop them off in a hidden location, and go back for round 2. Another issue that they are seeing is criminals using kids to steal because they're kids and they can't be tried as adults, and most of the time they're just caught and they just let them go. Absolutely none of this sounds better for neighborhoods, schools, or families, or kids. But if California is really on board with this, I feel it's my duty to suggest that they install bike lanes in Walgreens and CVS's to make it more inclusive and safe for the shoplifters. It's only fair.
Just when you thought reality TV couldn't get any worse, it got a whole lot shittier. A new NBC show called Ultimate Slip and Slide has indefinitely stopped production of the show after many of the cast members came down with explosive diarrhea. I'm not sure why this made them stop production. I'm interested in seeing people destroy themselves and each other while trying to slip and slide, and I'm very interested in seeing people try and destroy each other and slip and slide while trying not to shit all over the place. The poopy pants outbreak started when one of the crew members had tested positive for Giardia, which is a microscopic parasite that comes from ingesting poop. So the couple options we have about how this could have happened: 1, someone didn't wash their hands after going number 2. Okay, standard. Option 2, random animal pooped in the water. Again, absolutely possible. And my personal favorite, number 3. Someone shit in the pool while slipping and sliding and someone else ingested said poop. Eventually, over 40 crew members were found to have this parasite, which had people collapsing on set and sprinting to the porta potties to avoid disaster. Luckily for the crew, NBC has decided to take new precautions to make sure they tend to the health and safety of their staff and are considering moving locations in order to continue filming. Which I guess is nice, even though everyone already got Giardia. So it seems like too little too late, but who knows. Even though the cast is excited about the chance to continue filming, a lot of the producers want to cancel the show entirely. What a bunch of patty poopers.
Biden met with Putin this week, and we expect nothing to come of it as per usual. The media has been pressing the Biden administration for results when it comes to Russia, particularly in regards to the recent cyber attacks on the US. Putin predictably denied all allegations concerning Russia's involvement. The whole affair was a photo op for posturing and handshakes. The most interesting part of the whole episode was Biden blowing a gasket when a reporter pushed for an answer about whether or not Biden felt confident that Putin would shape up. Now, I'll admit, that's a dumb question. Of course he won't. But Biden repeatedly getting his dentures rattled anytime the press goes off script is both entertaining and concerning. Just like we said through the Trump presidency. It would be funny if it weren't actually our president. He's got two speeds, and I use the word speed loosely. Deflecting questions or utter indignation. So in this arena, nothing has changed but the hair color.
Violence continues between Israel and Palestine. Hamas might have a slim budget for jihad, but they say that opens the door to creativity. Israeli military forces launched airstrikes against Hamas this week after Hamas floated incendiary balloons over to the border fence in Israel. In reality, this isn't a new technique for Hamas, but it's Israel's military response with airstrikes that is a new escalation. Hamas has been floating these incendiary balloons over the border for decades with the hopes of setting fire to agricultural sites. They are literally kids' birthday party balloons filled with helium that has a firework or other incendiary device attached to it. Hamas uses the wind from the Mediterranean Sea to float the balloons into Israeli territory. In the past 3 years, over 10,000 acres of land have been burned in Israel by these incendiary balloons, but there have been no casualties reported for these types of attacks. This may have been the goal of Hamas in order to not provoke the full strength of the Israeli military, but this week Israel had enough of their shit and decided to lob something back over the border. Another reason Hamas likes using balloons is that it gives them another reason to throw a really festive party. If you check out some of the pictures of these guys prepping the balloons, it looks like they're getting ready for a kiddie terrorist birthday party. It's both adorable and disturbing. The balloons were launched in response to a planned right-wing flag march that would happen in Jerusalem. The march is done by the Israelis to mark the victory of the Six-Day War and gaining control of the Western Wall. Clearly, this march raises tensions between the two groups every year. Hamas claimed victory with their balloon floating tactic, saying that because of their actions, the parade now had a different course. I mean, is that really a victory, though? You guys are really counting on anything you can at this point. Israel responded by saying, "Nah, we had a force field."
You might think you're a badass, but I promise you aren't as badass as Captain Michael Packard. Packard is a commercial lobster diver from Massachusetts who enjoys long walks on the beach, listening to Taylor Swift while watching the sunset while walking on said beach, and getting deep-throated by humpback whales. Wait, what? This weekend, while Packard was diving for lobster off the coast of Cape Cod, he got swallowed by a humpback whale. For those of you unfamiliar with the Northeast, this is not a common occurrence. Yet this grizzly masshole lived to tell the tale. While diving, Packard said he felt a shove and then everything went black. At first he thought it may have been a shark, but since he wasn't immediately chomped in half, he thought it may have been something else. Even though he didn't feel any pain while he was in the whale's mouth, he did say the darkness was a little overwhelming. Packard felt that he was moving and could feel the muscles in the whale's mouth moving around him, so he knew that he had to act fast before he was completely swallowed like a Pinocchio. He thought about his sons and how he wanted to see them again, which apparently gave Packard some sort of superhuman strength. In order to free himself from the jaws of death, Packard shook the whale's head. I'm not sure how this was possible or what this looked like, but goddamn, that must have been a hard shake. Have you ever tried to do anything physical underwater? It's like trying to fight in a bad dream. So shout out to Packard for being an absolute beast. According to the movies, you can also sprinkle some pepper into their uvula and they will sneeze you out of their blowhole. Packard was glad to come away from this uninjured. When asked whether or not he would be returning to his job, Packard was unsure, saying, "Well, I don't know."
This week, a grocery store worker in Atlanta was killed by a customer after enforcing the store's mask mandate. Many states have started to open up and start taking away some of the restrictions put in place during the pandemic. Even super crunchy California started to open back up this Tuesday. This has now ushered us into a time of great confusion, as there are restrictions or restriction lifts, and they can vary from store to store, state to state. This is going to turn employees into mass police, which isn't good for anyone. 20-year-old loser Von Sucketlife was shopping at the Atlanta Big Bear supermarket when he was told he needed to wear a mask. Instead of getting a mask or just leaving and shopping somewhere else, loser left and got a firearm and came back to the store and shot the cashier. He then turned and shot the store security guard as well. The cashier was pronounced dead at Grady Memorial Hospital, but the security guard was wearing a bulletproof vest and was in stable condition. The pandemic has been tough on everyone, but hopefully prison will be tougher on loser Von Sucketlife for shooting somebody for working their 9 to 5. F you, buddy.
This just in, Juneteenth is set to become a federal holiday in the US. Naturally, no one is arguing against celebrating Juneteenth and the end of slavery for which it stands. But the internet is aflame with people ripping legislators for voting themselves another day off. This can all be easily solved by saying, hey, you're an adult, celebrate however you see fit. Take the day or work, whatever floats your aquatic mode of transportation. But regardless, this is a positive move for our country. And the arguments are ridiculous. Enjoy your Juneteenth tomorrow, everyone.
New news has been released by our great, glorious, and omnipotent leader, Kim Jong-un. In recent media images this week, the leader is looking a little thinner than usual. Some experts claim that the great and glorious leader has lost approximately 20 to 40 pounds since he was last seen. Kim, known for heavy drinking and smoking, comes from a family with a history of heart problems. His father and grandfather, who ruled North Korea before him, both died of heart issues. A more healthy diet is most likely the cause of this weight loss. Unrelated, in a crazy coincidence, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un warned about possible food shortages and urged the country to brace for extended COVID-19 restrictions, as he opened a major political conference to discuss national efforts to salvage a broken economy. Hey, I got an idea to fix the North Korean economy. Stop using a corrupt, bureaucratic communist system. Just a hunch. Aside from a shitty system of government, the North Koreans' economy has deteriorated amid a pandemic, border closures, which choked off trade with China, while devastating typhoons and floods last summer decimated crops. Kim urged officials to find ways to boost agricultural production, saying the country's food situation is now getting tense. Looks like it's back to the 4 years that the North Koreans faced amid the 90s. You know, when millions suffered and died. Kind of like a government-run Weight Watchers program from hell. Kim Jong-un urged his supporters to make sure that they weren't wasting any food and to wait before throwing it out. Otherwise, they'd be pounded. Or if they were in Britain, they'd be stoned.
And finally, in Florida Man news, Florida Man and certified personal trainer Bobby Reed was on the hunt for a training studio. So he decided to purchase a small municipal building property in the Brooksville, Florida, to the tune of $55,000. Not a bad deal, considering the property also came with the city's water tower. That's right, folks. The Brooksville City Council, in all their infinite wisdom, not only sold the property to Florida Man, but their entire water supply to the region. Florida Man worked with the city's attorneys to write the deed to the land to split the parcel. I can't understand why you would do that. Bobby, you're a personal trainer. People are going to work out and they're going to get thirsty. This is a double win for the success of your budding business. Despite the hilarious mix-up, Brooksville Mayor Pat Brayton confirmed that the city is out of troubled waters. Yeah, Mayor? Well, who's more Florida Man? The personal trainer who accidentally purchased a water tower, or the idiots who allowed it to be sold in the first place? Maybe this week it's more Florida City Council than Florida Man.
And with that, I'm Matt Finney.
And I'm the third Italian.
And this is the Bad News Network. Our news is at least as bad as the news you're getting already, and have a great Juneteenth, everybody. As always, you can use code BNN to get 25% off at rangerup.com.